विचारणैकनिपुणम् तद्धर्म संस्थापक लोकानां हितकारिणां त्रिभुवने मन्नं शरण्यकरं राधा कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्दौ भजनामृतौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्दौ भजना नन्देन मत्तालिका वन्दे रूप सनातनं रघुजुगौ श्रीजी कृष्ण कीर्तन गान नर्तन परौ प्रेमा निधि धीर धीर जनप्रिय निर्मोदित श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरौ भुवि भुवा मारा महंत रखौ वंदे रूप सनातनं रघुजुगौ राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रजजन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी राधा कृष्ण को गोपला श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवदीप धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, जमुना माई की जय, द्वारका धाम की जय, स्वामी भक्तवृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द थैंक यू वेरी मच।
Wait, stop. Don't skip this video because I've got great news for you and your hair. If you are tired of losing or
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Ji Jai. All glories to great Deva, glories to Krishna Prabhupada.
Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
Good to see you. Prabhu Ji, I think we're going to play bhajans for a couple more minutes.
Okay. No problem.
Okay, there are very few of us at the moment. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Shri Guru Shri Padamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavangshan Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Right, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So you may unmute and you may start. I'll put the rest on the screen and then you may start.
But do we need to see chant Jaradamana again?
Well, if you want to, you can. Sri Prabhupada already chanted, but if you want to, you can still go ahead and chant.
To connect somehow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjabi Hari Gopi Janavalabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Jai SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM ki, Jai SRILA Prabhupada ki, Jai SRIMAD Prabhupada ki, Jai. All glory to the assembled devotees ki.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Naram Dhamma Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tatu Jayam Virayat Nasta Praisura Bhajiswini Cham Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Utamastu Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, first canto, 14th chapter, verse number 41. The chapter is entitled The Disappearance of Lord Krishna. Here is the Sanskrit. Kashit Twam Brahmanam Balam Gambridam Yoginam Sriyam Saranopasritum Satwam Natyaksi Sarana Prada Kashitwam Brahmanam Balam Gambridam Roginam Sriyam Sarano Pasritam Satwam Natyakshi Sarana Prada Kashitwam Brahmanam Balam Gambridam Yoginam Sriyam Sarano Pasritam Satwam Natyakshi Sarana Pradaha. Word for word translation. Kashit, whether, Twam, yourself, Brahmanam, Brahmanam, the Brahmanas, Balaam the child, Gam the cow, Vridam old, Roginam the deceased, Sriyam the woman, Sarana Upasritam having approached for protection, Satwam any living being. Now whether Atyakshi not giving shelter, Sarana Pradaha deserving protection. Translation and purport by Divine Grace like A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. You are always the protector of the deserving living beings, such as Brahmanas, children, cows, women, and the deceased. Could you not give them protection when they approach you for shelter? Please repeat it once. Okay. Yes. Purport by His Divine Grace like A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Brahmanas, who are always engaged in researching knowledge for the society's welfare work, both materially and spiritually, deserve the protection of the king in all respects. Similarly, the children of the state, the cow, the diseased person, the woman, and the old man specifically require the protection of the state or a Kshatriya king. If such living beings do not get protection by the Kshatriya or the royal order or by the state, it is certainly shameful for the Kshatriya or the state. If such things had actually happened to Arjuna, Maharaj Yudhishthira was anxious to know about these discrepancies. Om Agyana Timrandasya Gyana Salakaya Chakshum Vitayana Tasmai Sri Radhima Sri Chaitanya Mano Vistasa Vitayana Bhutali Swayam Rupam Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantika Mukam Karatu Vasalam Pangum Langya Jegrim Yat Kripatada Ambande Sri Guru Nikata. Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagapati Gopesa Gopakanta Radha Tapta Kanchana Gauran Gaya Devidavan Sudhe Sabana Sute Bancha Kapataribya Chapi Pasendi Vyasa Chapati Chana Bhavanendo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Advaita Kura Bhaktam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Kachitvam Brahmanam Balam Gambridam Roginam Sriyam Sarano Pasritam Satwam Natyaksi Sarana Pradaha Natyaksi Sarana Pradaha. You are always the protector of the deserving living beings, such as Brahmanas, children, cows, women, and the diseased. Could you not give them protection when they approach you for shelter? We welcome all of you to be part of this afternoon's SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM discourse. My name is Chaitanya PREMA. So here there are some salient points, because generally we've been discussing about the symptoms of the symptoms that occur when something inauspicious happens, and when something auspicious is about to happen, that there are universal signs, that are depicting or foretelling events that are to happen. We say some of these signs are do nimittas, others are su nimittas. That means there are some are auspicious signs, others are inauspicious signs. And when these signs happen to, give signal, those who are conscious or those who are learning in the art and science of nimittas, they can identify, they can interpret, and therefore they can make adjustments for positivity. So it's a science, universal science coming from God himself, that it is good to know it. Here, Maharaj Yudhishthira, he knows this science. Arjuna knows this science. In those days, all learned men, they know this science. And when something is about to happen, they don't need to go to a fortune teller. They see the science, universal science, and they are able to identify, they're able to interpret them, and they're able to adjust circumstances in order to only attract the positive and dispel the negative. See, there are warning signs in the universe. So here, because Maharaj Yudhishthira is very caring, you see, and is very conscious. As soon as he saw Arjuna, because he was already seeing the sign before he saw Arjuna anyway, he was able to immediately go into philosophical speculation. He tried to identify, out of feeling of concern and care for his brother, he tried to find out. Here we are all brothers and sisters, God brothers and sisters. We should be caring for each other. When we see somebody, a God brother, a God sister, or any devotee in some kind of mood, we should be able to inquire what is happening. We should be concerned. We should try to know what is happening to you. Then we find out how to come in order to help reinstate such person's emotional disequilibrium. It's a sign of care to find out what is happening just upon seeing the facial expression, just upon seeing the attitude of somebody. We should be conscious to that extent. So by that, we narrow down to those who are living with us. We should be each other's brother keepers. So we should be able to find out, we should know when somebody close to us is happy, when the person is not happy. Then we should find out, is anything bothering you, bothering your mind? Because inquiring confidentially and revealing one's mind in confidence. These are some of these are two ways of loving exchanges among devotees, as spelled out by Srila Rupa Goswami himself. So it is very important that we put these things into practice. Dadati pratigrinati gunyam akyati prashati. Revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring confidentially. This is exactly what Maharaj Yudhishthira is doing to Arjuna. Maharaj Yudhishthira was already getting the signs, and when Arjuna came, he saw that there's something wrong. So since Arjuna is not ready to tell him outrightly, because of being overwhelmed by the circumstance, he himself tried to find out, to dig deep, to bring out that so that he can address it and see whether it can be reinstated into emotional equilibrium. So this is very important. We have to be conscious. We have to be conscious. We cannot become Krishna conscious if we are not conscious. So we should be conscious enough to see our immediate environment, to see changes in people that we are interacting with, and to be able to identify what is going on. The whole Neta devotion is all about that. We should become conscious. When you become conscious, then you can become Krishna conscious. So let us practice this first. Let us be conscious. Let us practice how to become conscious. Mother Yudhishthira is showing this. More so, if one is a leader, he should be so conscious of his subjects. He should be able to see, just look at the person and know something is wrong, something is right. Then he should try to find out and address and make the person happy, bring that person out of that mood. It's very important. Okay? You will say, oh, but Maharaj Yudhishthira is a king. I am not a king. Everyone is actually a leader. You are a leader of your family. You are a leader of your wife and children. If you can practice conscious living, among your wife and your children, it will be wonderful. You can move from there. Since the society, the family unit is the microcosm of the community. If you can practice this, other people practice this, very soon we see that the community will become conscious. And since the community is the microcosm of the nation, if communities become conscious, eventually the whole nation will become conscious. And if the nations become conscious, the whole planet will become conscious. So this is how it works. Let us practice conscious living. Okay. Having said this, I will now move a little bit further. Here specifically, there are certain set of people that needs to be seriously cared for. Everybody needs care. But these persons are highly dependent in some ways. So they should be seriously cared for. A leader, a Kshatriya, should care for the Brahmanical class of people. According to the purport, the Brahmanical class or the Brahmanas are always engaged in researching knowledge for the society's welfare work. The Brahmanas are always researching knowledge. Why? They have to save the people. They save the people. The Brahmanas save the people in general. That if you have to leave it to everyone to find out the real truth, standard truths about everything and practice it, it will be difficult. So the Brahmanas go, they do the research on behalf of everybody. They scrutinize the scriptures. They scrutinize all the Vedic injunctions. They bring out the essentials in everything so that they can share. So to give them the chance to go deep into scrutinizingly finding out the essential truths, they need to be cared for. Their physical needs need to be cared for. Their emotional needs need to be cared for. Their psychological needs need to be cared for so that they can concentrate on their duties. So this is very, very important. But unfortunately, the kind of society we see here is that the teachers are the least paid. The teachers are the least paid. They are not cared for. It's as if the society, the leaders of society do not see the importance. They do not know the importance of the teachers and the professors. The professors and the lecturers in the universities are not cared for. And that is a sign of an unhealthy society. It is a sign of an unhealthy society that the teachers and the professors and the lecturers, the brain faculty, the rational faculty of the nation is not cared for. It's a sign of sickness. The society is sick when you see that. And if you come closer, you will see that these people are not cared for, and the kind of society we see as a result is a misdirected society. A society where community is traded for commodity. People are commodity oriented rather than being people oriented. Artificial. They want beautiful roads. They want to build so many powerful bridges. They want to put fantastic houses, but they don't care for the people that will make use of these houses and bridges. So this is misdirected and misplaced priority. It's happening in the society. There is misplaced priority. People have traded community for commodity. This is the language of Bhakti-citta Swami. They have traded community for commodity. The same way they have traded truth for propaganda. The same way they have traded love for lust. The same way they have traded loyalty for popularity. The same way they have traded justice for justice. So in this way, the society is misdirected. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is composed to bring about a revolution in the life of this misdirected civilization. So when we are seeing this, we are talking of society, it looks very far. What about us who have known about it? How much are we caring for the Brahmanas in our ISKCON society? How much are we really caring for the Brahmanas? We have led the Brahmanas to struggle for themselves. Therefore, in the course of struggling for themselves, they start engaging in all kinds of activities also. Brahmanas are becoming Sudras, the Vaishyas, they are becoming Kshatriyas, and they are doing all kinds of things. They are finding for themselves. Since the society had no consideration for protecting them, the teacher, nothing for him, is not considered very important. So he has to look for his own way so that he can get a nice house also to live, so that he can buy nice food instead of depending on focusing on his duty and depending on what the care that the society gives to him. The society don't care. So Brahmanas also say, instead of waiting for this society to care for me, since they are not caring, let me care for myself as much as possible. So they are forcing the Brahmanas to also become selfish and also join the race for competitive acquisition of properties, which is not supposed to be. These are signs of misdirected civilization. Then we say children. If you look around our society now, what do you see? Children that are supposed to be in school, learning, they are engaged in child labor. They are carrying loads in the market. A school-going age, a child of school-going age is seen carrying lots of loads, hustling. And when you look critically, you see that these children are practically sleeping on the streets, most of them. The Kshatriya, the government, the state does not care. They are sleeping on the streets. Among those who are socially, they are socially displaced. Okay, they are socially displaced. They are actually lost among the living. Many of them, even their births are not recorded. Therefore, they have no identity. They are lost among the living. If you go to any city in the world now, you see this set of children. They are supposed to be cared for by the state, but the state has neglected them. So some philanthropic persons, those who are broad-minded, they want to help. So they open philanthropic organizations and they want to help people. They want to help these children. They create orphanage homes for them and they are trying to help them. These children are otherwise engaged in child labor. When they are supposed to be in school, in classroom, they are engaged in child labor. Seriously. So why would you say that the social vices will not increase? In the night, they have to look for some faster way of getting money. So they start attacking places and they are stealing. And if you want to find children, girls of school-going age in prostitution, in brothels, it's among these neglected children. Children are neglected, including the girls. So they are the ones serving in the brothels. They are sex workers now. Very young age, they are sex workers. These are signs of the failure of a state or a government. Therefore, this International Society for Krishna Consciousness is established to help reinstate this kind of level of misplacement of priority. The SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is compiled to address this issue. That's why in SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, first canto, 5th chapter, text number 10, is one side of the coin, and the text number 11 is the other side of the coin. That those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the entire universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all perfect persons or the inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So the misdirected society is pumping out all kinds of literatures to study to get people confused more. They themselves are confused, and they are now leading people. The blind leading the blind. So we say, on the other hand, those literatures, including SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, on the other hand, that literature which is full of the descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, form, pastimes, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words, directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. So transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by qualified men who are totally honest. So this is it. They need education. This revolution, the Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is a revolution against misdirected civilization. A civilization that does not give priority to protecting Brahmanas. A civilization that ignores the children and force them circumstantially into child labor, into child prostitution. A civilization that forces the children into, all kinds of corrupt activities, thieves. A society that produces poor people. The SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM is a creation to address, it's a revolution to address this misdirected kind of civilization. The consequences are horrendous, and we are seeing it. So the question is, as devotees who have also come to know this, what are we doing? How much are we caring for the children? We want to talk about care. Let us start with ourselves. How much are we caring for ourselves and our children? We, the devotees, how much are we caring for our children? We are not caring for them at all. In the whole of ISKCON, West Africa, as I know, we have 2 schools. One is in Ghana, one is in Nigeria, Port Harcourt. If you come to the school and look at the structure, enter into the classroom, you will see what I'm talking about. We are so careless that we have big philosophy, but in terms of application, we are nowhere. So what can we do to rectify this situation? This is the question. How can we, change calm from being careless into being careful? This is a serious concern. We are devotees. How do we change this situation diametrically? Because we have the responsibility to do it since we are the one choosing to know this. Now we have known this, what do we do? I'm saying that, I'm challenging that the only school we have here where we can train the brain, train talents, develop talents. Our school is terrible in terms of physical structure. There are potholes in all the classroom floors. No tiles on the floor. No tiles on the floor. Eh? No tiles on the floor. We don't have, the windows are not there. The doors are not there. And when a child sits in the classroom, is directly getting rays from the roof. There is heat in the classrooms. That means they are not sealed. So how do we practice this care? This is the question I have. I ask you, how do we practice caring for children? Can we give some, because we know that as devotees, there are a lot we can do to care for children, apart from this education stuff. But education is important here because the Brahmanas, that is where they also operate. They are neglected, their offices are nothing to write home about, and the classrooms are terrible. And we are saying the state is not caring. And the states, the governments, the authorities in our movement also, how much are we really caring to swear them? These are questions now. How do we care, really show care for the Brahmanas and the children? How do we care for the Brahmanas and the children? We can say we give them devotional education. That is all right. We have to be exemplary as parents who are devotees, so we give them care in that way. We teach them devotional service from childhood and try to make them chant the Maha Mantra. But the soul is in the physical body. Therefore, it needs physical development. And when they graduate from our school, these children go into secondary schools where devotional service is not known. Our own children go into schools where there's no devotional service. So are we saying we are not seeing the need? If our children, if there's any need for children to go to school at all, why don't we put, a place where, exemplary place where children can really be taught from inside out and outside in? Why can't we put a place? We don't have places. We have only one place in the whole of Ghana, and that is Accra. So the one place we have, all schools around there, they have buses. Our school has no school bus. No school bus, no good classrooms. The classrooms are full of potholes. No windows, no doors. Anybody can enter the classroom and come at any time of the night or day.
PREMA.
Goranga.
Whose fault is that?
I'm asking. I am only
okay, let
asking.
Me answer. Let me answer now.
answer. How do we do this?
It's not how we do it. It's the fault of the Ghana management. Prema Vilas Prabhu left America. He's coming to Ghana every year to take care of these school projects. Just because they cannot give proper accountability, they cannot be accountable and transparent. The Prabhu left. So whose fault is that? Is there anybody's fault?
Okay, I said this is our fault. This is what we are pointing out now. I say it's our fault. We are all included. So we are thinking of how to move ahead. That's why we are bringing out this. This is, we are not doing them right. We have to start learning how to do things right. And Maharaj Yudhishthira is showing us how to care. And here in this particular purpose, they are saying that we should care for the Brahmanas and we should care for the children. We should care for everybody that is dependent. So how are we caring? This is the situation. Even luckily, Ghana has a school, Accra has a school. How many schools do Nigeria have? The only one I know of is in Port Harcourt, but Accra is even better than Port Harcourt. So it is a regional cankerworm. This is a regional cankerworm. It's a virus. So there is no way you can exclude yourself from not being part of that who have created this canker or who have been infested by this canker. Running away is not a solution, but coming together and brainstorming and seeing how to move forward is the solution. So I am asking, how do we liberate ourselves from this quagmire? It's a quagmire, like a mud, and we are stuck in it. How do we liberate ourselves from it? Because this particular purpose, this particular text is addressing the situation that the brahmanas, the children, we are coming to cows, the women, and the deceased. They are supposed to be cared for. And when Mara Yudhishthira saw that Arjuna was not happy, he started to identify the causes, something that can make Arjuna unhappy in this way. And these are some of the things he pointed out where these things are neglected. Care for brahmanas, children, cows, women, and the disease. If they are neglected, those who are supposed to carry it out, they become distressed. Therefore, Mara Yudhishthira, who is conscious, who knows the signs of Nimitta, is asking. So we are seeing these signs all around us and taking it from taking the footstep, looking at the footstep of Mara Yudhishthira. I say we are supposed to also ask. And when we ask and we see the solution, we should address it. So that it will not be a talk show. This is what I'm saying. It should not be a talk show. Let us take practical steps to addressing this situation. How do we take care of brahmanas? How do we take care of children? And if we want to talk about cows, we know so much about cows. There are so many verses in the old BHAGAVATAM glorifying cow protection and protection of Brahmanical culture. Our Brahmanical culture is dependent on the cow. And we are seeing that the government, instead of establishing places for cow protection, they are establishing slaughterhouses where these cows can be killed in style. They are establishing places where the cows can be killed in style. And we are seeing this. 20 years we have been seeing this, 30 years we have been seeing. So what are we doing to protect the cow, who is supposed to be our mother, and the bull, who is supposed to be our father? What did Mara Parishit do? When he saw somebody trying to kill a cow, what did he do? He moved in to try to protect the cow. So our government is now protecting the cows because they are also Kali disciples. They are conducted by demoniac culture, arising from both neglect, ignorance, and everything you can think of, undesirable. So we are seeing them. What do we do? How many of our temples do we have cow ranches where we are trying to protect the cows? We depend on milk from the cow. We depend on clarified butter from the cow. We depend on so many things. The whole cow, we depend on the cow for a civilization, Vedic civilization. How many cows do we have here and there? And how much are we really taking care of them? These are the questions I'm asking. I'm asking, why are we not doing these things? And how can we start doing them well?
And with this question you are asking, is going to cause trouble.
No trouble. We are sweeping the ground. We are sweeping the ground so that the dust can enter our nose. Then we all sneeze. Then we come out. Then after the ground will be clear, then we mop it with water. Because this topic, we cannot neglect it. We cannot make talk show about this.
Chaitanya Prema Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah, like the Prabhuji just said, these questions are very tough and sensitive questions because it is our own problem. It's not a problem from outside, it's a problem from inside. You know, there's a saying that charity begins at home. We are supposed to care for the Brahmanas. And how are the Brahmanas caring for themselves? Are we, or the Brahmanas, actually portraying the Brahmanical qualities? One of the qualities is truthfulness, sincerity. Are we truthful? I'm here with Prabhu here in the United States, Columbus, Ohio. He's my best friend.
Yeah.
I talked to Prabhu to bring him to Ghana, right? 2014. He told me, Govinda Prabhu, I love Vaiteta Swami Maharaj, and I love you. And because of you, I'm doing all these things in Ghana. But from what I'm seeing, I don't trust anybody.
Oh. So the question is, how do we rectify trust in people?
Yeah, the question is, the way you are speaking, how are you in particular? Have you heard of this story of Prabhu? What have you done about it? Have you talked to your people?
This is why we are trying to talk about it so that we can address it.
It's a question to you. First,
yes.
What are the steps have you taken to address this issue among your leaders there? Have you tried
this is why we are. This is where we are trying to look for the solution now.
No,
the problem is already there. Now let's look for a solution here together.
No, I'm asking you. You are there. What have you done to the situation, to address the situation, to the people involved? Now we are.
I'm taking steps. I'm taking steps. And this is one of the steps.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, sorry, devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Excuse me. Hold on. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm dealing with all the devotees, please. Usually, the speaker speaks, and after he's done speaking, then he gives the opportunity for us to ask questions or give comment. But it looks like the speaker himself asked us to ask questions while he wasn't done speaking.
Yes, he's trying to make it interactive.
Okay, all right. So what I would like us to do is that whatever question or comment one gives or asks, then we pause, and then we allow for an answer, and then we move on. But even before we get there, I would suggest that what Chaitanya Prema Prabhu is saying is very, very important, but I do not see how we're going to be able to benefit much on this platform from that, except that we have a special meeting specially designed for topics like this, because we do not have the leadership here. When we speak, they are not here. They are not hearing. They are not hearing. I mean, like Govinda Prabhu was saying, Chaitanya Prema Prabhu, you are one of the leaders in Ghana too. You are one of the leaders. You rightly said that everybody is a leader. Well, especially if you are a married man, you have a wife, you have kids, you are a leader. But there are different levels of leadership. So even though you are a leader, you are also under a leader. So there are some things you can do, some things you cannot do. So I'm thinking that if possible, we may have to brush this aside and find appropriate time and place to discuss this very all-important topic.
Okay, now we can make it to be a talk show. We'll talk nicely about these things and put it aside and go ahead. Is that what we are going to do now?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you have something to say?
My point is, you see, sometimes we will keep postponing stuff, and we never get any resolution to whatever we want to happen. Like this topic is a very sensitive topic. Like Kavi Kanapur Prabhu was saying that Chaitanya Prema, you are hitting on something that you don't even know what is going to come out of it. It's serious. You see, one thing is, we are all in the soup together. It's not like only one person is suffering. We are all suffering. We are all suffering. We are in the soup together. So if we really want solution, then we should be able to put our feet down and do the right thing. Like I'll tell you, how many people, look at the how many people in Ghana, look at, we have devotees in Ghana who have started their building. In less than a year, they've completed their building. Some of us have also done the same thing. We come to Ghana, we stay here and we send money, and we put up buildings in less than no time. So how can we sit down and look and watch that a thing like a school that Srila Krishna Pad desired to happen so much? We are not putting any effort. We are not putting any like monetary thing to help build the school properly. Like Govinda Prabhu was also saying, we brought some people from the US to encourage them to help us so that they can donate towards our projects. But we bring these people, there is no structures in our system, and you'll be surprised that one time Prema Prabhu was asking the Accra temple that, what is your monthly budget? Monthly budget. They couldn't tell him the monthly budget. They couldn't, because they don't have any structures in place that they can go check the books to find out every month, this is how much we spend it. You know what I mean? If I send money to Ghana for someone to build a house for me, I can assure you, whoever receives the money makes sent to the last penny, an account to the last penny to me. So I trust the person so much. So if I bring the person $10,000, I don't care, because I know the person is going to account for it properly. But we don't have that system in place. So we can talk for 10 years. If we don't put those structures in place, nothing will happen. We will be like this forever. Look at you in Accra Temple. In Accra Temple, you started a welfare program, and it was being handled by experts. People from outside of the temple, they were handling this welfare thing, and everything was going smoothly. Now the temple, out of nowhere, the temple said they have to handle the welfare, and immediately it was handed over to the temple. The welfare is collapsed. Why? Why was it that when the members from outside were doing it, it was going on? Why is it that when it was handed to the temple, because the temple requested they want to control it, and it collapsed? Simply because we don't have structures in place. If we have structures in place, it doesn't matter. You can put your 5-year-old boy as temple president and things will happen, because the structures will work.
Sure.
But if you don't have any structures in place, my friend, we can have 20 meetings, we can have 100 meetings. Nothing will come out. One person will stand up and think that I am the overall boss, that if you go and talk, they will say that you are committing Vaishnava apparat. So everybody should keep quiet for things to happen the way they are happening. And that's why we've been staying. That's why we've been staying until today, and we are not making any progress.
Yes. When I went into the classrooms recently, I cried, because going from classroom to class, I saw what was there. This is when people come, they will not know who is in charge of it. They say all of us are just some useless people who don't know what they are doing.
Exactly.
Only children from the village who cannot afford school fees that come to our school.
Yeah. So like I'm saying, Chaitanya Prabhu, are you telling us that if even we want to do the flooring for the school, how much money is it going to cost? With a few $1,000s, we can fix all the floor. But I will not bring my $1,000 to anybody there, because if I ask for accountability, they will say I am too low. This little money you bring, why you trying to follow up with this? They will
maybe you should bring it to me, because right now I am the Minister of Education. See, I'm taking up this. I'm talking about this because
Nobody will bring it up to you. Nobody will bring it for you. You are the Minister of the Education. Doesn't mean that you be accountant. You will not go to be the accountant. Nobody will bring it to you. You should put up the structure. That is what the Bible is saying. Put up structure. You are the Minister. Doesn't mean that you should be the accountant. You are the Minister. Doesn't mean that you should be the accountant, Prabhu.
That's where I'm trying to start from somewhere now, Prabhu.
Gavi, don't mind Chaitanya Prema. Recently, we were talking about some donations, and Chaitanya Prema Prabhu is giving somebody's Momo number for the donations to go to that Momo number. What do you mean by this? Who on earth in America, who can you approach that we want to solicit funds for a particular project? And if the person asks you, where should I send the money to? You say, oh, send it to this person's Momo number. The person will think you are just coming from the asylum.
Anyway,
put structures in place. You have an account number, a secure account number. You put it, we can put it like on this our platform, and I can assure you, people will donate directly into the account.
Yes.
And people need accountability. Show us how much my money is being spent. Please. Yeah. It's simple. Yeah. Nobody's accusing any person.
Yes.
Simple.
I like it a lot. Thank you very much. Because right now, this is my stand now. I want to approach individuals. And the classrooms, we take them one by one class at a time. And the classrooms will be assigned. This is Harichakra Prabhu's classroom. This is Govinda Prabhu's classroom. This is Sadhu. This is Chaitanya Prema's classroom. This is Mother Baikunta's classroom. This is Prem Vilas classroom. This is Risabhadev classroom. And we are going to address the classrooms one after the other. And we are giving time limits, specific time limits, that all this will be achieved. There is no fund though, but the plan, the vision is there. I want to start moving towards it. I want to address them one after the other. This is my stand. And we're going to bring out proposals. We quantify everything. We get people in place. Then we start on it. So this is where I'm trying to make some starts from my side. And I want to open up for everybody to come on board so that there will be accountability. This is what I'm saying. If you close your eyes because of a bad man, you will not know when a good man is passing. So as you said, we put a proper structure in place, get proper accounts, and get proper people to supervise the work. And they give account of income and expenses. And when they come, they see that the thing is actually done. Go, Ranga. What okay? Yes.
Who is the head of the school? Who is managing the school?
The head of the school is Farguna Prabhu.
Who is the accountant of the school?
Balagopal Prabhu is the accountant.
And what is your own position in the school?
Me, I'm just Minister of Education who want to take a revolution. That's my position.
Okay, very good.
I've spoken with Srivas Banachari already. I've spoken with Srivas Banachari already.
You should meet with these three people, and you people should, like you are saying, you put your plan on ground. You understand? And the three signatories should be there as if all of you agreed, and you people should put your budget like Prabhu was saying, and you can, people, they are quantity surveyors, people who can quantify things. They go for school for that. We should meet them. These are what we need. This is how much it will cost, and we should put them on a plan. And it should be transparent like that. We see people will be supporting your project. That's what the Prabhujis are saying.
Yeah, this is what we are trying to start that.
Not one person will just come and say, I'm the CEO, and all the money should come to me, and the whole project will collapse. That is what is happening now. That is what is happening.
Now. That's why we want to learn how to do things better now. That's why we are talking about it, so that we can rectify, we can put proper structure that will work for everybody.
Like this is your school program now, Prabhu. Like this is your school program now. Like this is your school program. You should make it fully online school. Have a nice website. Even the devotees in America, in India, Indian devotees, in Africa, West Africa devotees in India, anywhere, any part of Africa, they can register on your school online, and everything is there online. and the training will be done properly online, everything. See, all these things can be achieved, but
yes,
structure should be put in place. As the Minister
Yes,
of Education, thank you for talking about the school, but
Go
things
on.
should be put in place.
yes, we are going to
You are
put
the
it in
manager.
place.
Yes, you study management also, Prabhu. You study management,
Yes,
so
yes.
you should apply. We should apply this in management.
That's what
There
we
is
want to do.
there is division of labor. There is division of labor. You understand?
Yes,
Not
yes,
you
Prabhu.
cannot be the accountant at the center. You be the president, and you be,
Oh,
that is how we have been running the movement.
That is a wrong
It's affecting
signal.
us.
That's a wrong signal for Yudhishthira. It's a wrong signal for all of us. So we are going to learn how to do things better. Understand? Things are not going properly because we are not doing things better.
We should not learn. We should not learn. You say we are going to learn. How are you going to learn? We should do things proper. We know it. We should not learn.
Learning on the job now. We sure you do. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Chaitanya Prema, for bringing up these important topics. I mean, I've been listening to you for quite some time, and it's quite evident that this is something you truly yearn for, like trying to see to it that something positive happens, takes place in our zone there. Now, my suggestion is just in line with what many devotees have said, that you may have good ideas, but since no one person in particular is like an autocratic leader there, you have to discuss with somebody, plan, and then you try to initiate your plan. Otherwise, single-handedly, one may not be able to do it. So, like Kavikana Prabhu was saying, if few devotees who are in the position of administration, you come together and then you plan. Not just planning, but you put the Arichakra Prabhu was saying, you have structures. Understand, you've studied management. You put your structures on the paper where everybody who is interested can go there, read and understand what your goals are. And then from there on, most likely things will happen. But if we continue doing what we've been doing all these years, then we shouldn't expect to have any new results, because it's the same old steps, and it will give us the same old results, which gives us just pain and headache. But to me, see, I've been saying this. I remember one time you were giving class, and I said this, and you answered beautifully, but it wasn't what I was expecting, because I am a leader. I'm the head of my house. So even though I'm the head of my house, when I go to work, I am nobody. I have to listen to my authorities there. And so I may be a leader here, you may be a leader there, but when it comes to ISKCON Ghana, who is the Oga? Who is the ultimate leader? Because if you say something or do something that contradicts what the main Oga says, then you're going to be handicapped. See, I do not want to bring out these things because some of us are handling it, because you, Chaitanya Prema, for example, you were a temple president at Sunyani. You know about the Sunyani temple situation, where somebody is trying to take the land from Krishna. But everybody is quiet. Every devotee we know in Ghana is silent. And I can only assume why devotees are silent. Devotees are silent because the overall leader is silent. And since the overall leader is silent, everybody else is silent. So one cannot expect things to happen when people themselves are very quiet and coward and, excuse me to say, zombies. It's not gonna work. And so I really appreciate your spirit. And it's not just today. It's a spirit I have observed that you have from time to time when you speak, you talk about these things, which means it's something that is really burning down in the core of your heart. And I can only assume that you have this burning desire because that was the vision of our Gurudev. You know, like Hare Prabhu was saying, if you had a land that you want to build a house on, and you hear that somebody is trespassing on the land, will you ever be silent? You won't be silent. So one time I was speaking with Kavikandapur Prabhu, and we were sharing things together, and we all said the same thing. There are different levels of devotional service. There are different levels of devotees. Those who are very advanced, they do everything to please Krishna. Those of us who are not very advanced to that level, when we do things, we should do things to please ourselves in serving Krishna. And there was an example that we gave, because a temple, like maybe Ghana temple, may have a vehicle, a car. And because the car belongs to the temple, nobody really pays close attention to taking care of the car. But if you had a personal car, you will make sure that you do everything to make the car working right. So that is the problem. There is a work to be done, and everybody thinks that somebody will do it. And everybody thinks that somebody will do it, and it ends up that nobody does it. Somebody, that's why the other time I wrote something on this platform, I said there is something that has to be said. And it has to be said by somebody. And I am somebody, so I have said it. Now you can go to hell. But somebody has to say it. And the problem is parampara. Because you cannot say this to your leader, you cannot say this to your superior. It's there. Parampara is there. But the parampara is not meant to make people fools and idiots. That's my view. And that's why I was saying that this topic will serve us all very, very wonderful if we have the local leadership who sit down with us and we all go over why we are not making the progress we know we can make. Once they are not here, we can talk and talk and talk. It won't get anywhere. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, it's true. There's an African proverb that says that if you see the shadow of a tree crooked, it is not the shadow you will try to straighten, it is the tree itself. Once you straighten the tree, you see that the shadow will be straight also.
Yeah.
So this is the situation. We have to address this issue. we are identifying where we are, and we are not satisfied with where we are. And we know where we want to be, and time is not also allowing. Time is, reducing our vitality. So it is good that we start talking about these things and start making moves. We have to make practical moves. I told you, I spoke with Srivas Banachari about the school in this regard. I spoke with him, and he agreed with me that actually it is not, the state it is not the best. I communicated with Anutama Prabhu also. because they wanted to know about the state of the school. Anyway, fortunately, I'm also assistant communication director in Ghana. And I'm choosing to communicate with them because they wanted to meet the US Embassy, Ghana Embassy in US to have some programs with them. So they asked me some strategic questions. I made consultations, I answered them. Then I sent them videos, they were satisfied. They met with the government and they had a good time with them. Then they followed up. What is the health? How is the state of the school? They asked this question and I have to answer them and explain to them everything that is as it is. Then we are warming up to move further. And coincidentally, if I'm to be in charge of education in West Africa, I have to start from where I am. So I picked up this school as where we start from. And that's why when this subject matter went to this topic, come near there, I don't want to spare it. Yes, I have to bring it because the Brahmanas need to be taken care of, but they may research, both materially and spiritually. They have to be properly taken care of. The society does not know how to take care of these people. They are not taken care of. Teachers are the least paid. So in our ISKCON also, we should not allow this, so we have to do something differently. But for now, this is how it is. So we have to make moves to make something different. And that's why I am taking it up personally as one of my duties to make sure that we change the situation of the school within a specified time frame. And I am ready to approach anybody, talk with anybody I see that is an obstacle on the path, talk with the person and turn the obstacle into something positive. And also invoke people's attention and their mercy in whatever way I can talk as a service to the whole movement in West Africa. And when I finish from here, I'm coming to Nigeria. I'm coming to Nigeria and I will take Port Harcourt. Then we make sure that within some time frame, all our temples have some schools where we will be able to tell the people what we are preaching. We can practice it. So, Prabhu, it is just a simple practical step I'm talking about this thing here in this class. Luckily, Prabhupada gave me the chance to talk about it by telling us to talk about children, the elderless, women, and the Brahmanas. So that's why I say we should brainstorm on these topics. What are we not doing right? How can we do the right thing? What are the obstacles? We should identify them. How do we overcome them? This is where we are. That's why I approach it in this way. It's a practical class because I don't want you to be a talk show. Because there are so many quotations about cow protection everywhere. The importance of the cow. We know these things, but we have to do something practical here to translate this knowledge into its practical equivalent. Otherwise, it will be a talk show. So that's why I brought it up in this way. And I'm happy that some of you see it with me, that it is good that we start talking about it. But by constantly talking about it, then making steps, we plan to do things better, and we will do. By Krishna's mercy, if we are sincere, and the Paramparam is in support, something positive will happen.
I pray and hope that you try to make your answers a little bit shorter, because it's like other devotees questions. So
okay, that's okay.
After Kavi Kanapura, I think Prabhu Govinda also has something to say. So
okay, yes, Prabhu. Prema Prabhu.
Yeah, he's listening.
Prabhu I'm very happy with your motivational talk, because we grew up in ISKCON, and we have been hearing motivational talk since all our years, and as we are growing up also, we are studying the environment, and when we grew up also, we try to do something different, but we see that nothing they change, and that is why some of us today now I remember one time when PREMA Prabhu was the manager of the school? He was trying his best, but somehow they kick him out of the place, And so many things like that. So the thing that is there is not about all this one you are saying. Like what you said, once the tree is bent, it will cannot. It's very Babu. I don't know. It's going to be very difficult. It's very difficult because Babu. Let me tell you one disease we have, especially especially the leaders. I'm not trying to be offensive, but I would just want to call a spade a spade. Nami Duam, the warriors, Nami Duam is the biggest problem we have. Nami Duam. I don't know, maybe anybody understand that my broken English. Nami Duam.
Explain it.
I don't want to explain. Those who understand, they don't understand. Nami Duam. And one person wants to be the only one who is doing it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work anywhere. Division of labor in any organization. They have to be division of labor. Once you trust somebody, you give that person that department, let it develop it, and let the person be transparent to you. That is all what you need. Not that if the person give you the suggestion you don't like, tomorrow you start cutting his leg from back, and before you know, you throw him out. That is our problem. I've seen many people who try to help. People who want to help, they will come tomorrow. But once that problem is there, they will run, they will go. They will go. That is the problem. So we can talk here from here to tomorrow, like you are saying, and Prabhu, Sahade Prabhu have rightly said. This is not the right forum for this. Call all the leaders, call them. That is where you should speak this one. Our own
this is a class now. I'm speaking according to the purpose.
No. Prabhu. You will have speak that purpose in a way that will benefit individual, not management. You should not bring management stuff here because you are going to cause trouble, and there will going to be Vaishnava parade, and now you go carry them because now you bring the topic. You understand? We have to be practical. All those leaders that we are talking from they are behind now. We have to call them on the round table and speak into their face, and let them let everybody come out with their own plans, and let us see how to make this motor when no one move. Whether we need to call an engineer or we need to call mechanic from the roadside, let them come and push it to move. The motor is refusing to move now, and the driver doesn't want to come out from the car to see the problem of the car. That is the problem.
Okay, thank you, Kavika Napur Prabhu. Sri Govinda, you may unmute, and then we'll go to His Grace Prema Samputa. Sri Go, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna, Sahade Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Prabhu Chaitanya Prema.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm actually free. I'm free. I'm free, actually. You see, your description to the services over there is very painful. It's painful that people trained by an expert, a person like Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. He trained us, and I believe he's expecting more than this crawling movement that we are doing. So, in our lifetime, please, let us protect this legacy of our dearest, our dearmost father, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Swami Maharaj. We've been in this movement for some of us over 30 years. And the problem we are presenting today has been there since all these years. And it's still not solved, and it's not like we are trying to pave a way somewhere to make it work. So are we going to leave it like this, die and go away? I mean, it's very sad. It's very sad. Like Sahade Prabhu was saying, sometimes we are forced to use some words We are forced to carry certain, certain words outside, but we don't want to. We want to be polite as possible. We want to be gentle as possible. We want to be Vaishnav as possible. And so certain language is not expected to come out from our mouth, and especially when it's pertaining to our leaders. These are respectable leaders, and we are supposed to respect them because they are respecting the higher hierarchy. They are respecting the parampara. So we don't want to rebuke them. We want to respect them. But if we are sitting down and seeing things working this way, then we are forced to speak. And when we speak, in the course of the speech, sometimes they call it aparada. This is very sad. Sometimes, your mom will slap you or whip you up, and when you are crying, he will tell you to keep quiet, don't cry. So it means you're going to be crying, but you're going to cry within. It's very sad. Like this school problem you are bringing up, Prabhu, this is our duty. So anyway, we have to talk outside this meeting. See, if you want to look at what is happening, if you look at the size, the edges of the river, you never drink that river. Meanwhile, you are thirsty. You are thirsty. It's a disgrace. Are you going to sit down and watch the disgrace because one or two people are not allowing us to move? We have to move anyway. Anyway, that's what I have to say. We have to come out with some, yeah.
Thank you. Older. I see that 30-something years we are unable to, we just be like this until you leave the body. This is sad.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Prema Samputa Prabhu, please unmute. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, good to see you, bro. Thanks so much. Govinda, Chaitanya, Prema, and all the wonderful Vaishnava. Yeah, personally, I've been sick and I've been missing the class. That's why I watch it later on YouTube. And yeah, I managed to, jump into this class, and I was hearing the nectarian battles which are going. You see, Prabhu, you're all our mentors, We grew up watching you, all wonderful souls, concerning this school. I think a lot should be done. They said it requires someone to be a trained teacher to lead the school. But if you have a university degree, you are equally as good as a trained teacher, which I had. I took over from when Shastra, they left. And big brother, up to now, the record that I set in the school has not been broken now. My badge of the 3 badges of students who graduated with the best grade, among by then 74 private schools. But what happened? I was washed out. You understand? When my father was not available, he was busy in India. His great Shiva's Prabhu. And recently I came to the school, and the state at which I saw the school, I cried that this is a legacy of our father. This is a legacy of our father. But I was trying to analyze it from a very clinical point. We started with silicon, the one at where?
Fanko Valley area.
Fanko Valley, yeah. Silicon has gone high. Even Media International, which started recently, is also going high. I wanted to bring some idea. If it is good, leaders can look into that. You see, Now we are surrounded by Muslims, Christians, and these are the majority of the people in the school. Our own children, they are very few. The kids in the classroom, they are studying scriptures of the, Bhagavad Gita, texts, and I don't know till now. And they're going to the temple room. As this has really shut down so many things. The kids can still get Krishna consciousness without not going to the temple room. Because, now, I'm saying this because during my time when I was there, I was still going around all parents, their houses. That's why I was loved by most of the kids, their mom, because I was trying to make an investigation what is going on around me, because we are surrounded by competitive schools. And majority, they say, wow, these kids are going there. And I asked them, why? If the kids are going to the temple, is it a disturbance to you? No, we don't like it. We are making the children to be Hare Krishna people. They have a point over there, and we have our own missionary point also as well. But let's look into it like this. Even the kids, if they don't go even to the temple room, the effect in the environment, in the school, makes them a devotee. Because some of the teachers are devotees, and they are teaching Krishna consciousness in the school. So we should look into this very carefully. And also, one teacher, I remember in the Sankirtan Yajna, their group, one of the teachers at the examination center, he looked at me. Then I was asking, why is it that even when the children are going to write the exam, there's so much scrutiny on these kids? And the guy said, you guys, you have to be careful because you are very few. And some of these examination board people who are marking this exam, they're Christians. They can just mark you down because the educational structure system, there are no purity over there. They are always against Hare Krishna people. We can even, it was a suggestion, by then my father was not there. Shivas Maharaj was not available by then. So I shared with some few people, but it brushed down. We can even change the name of the school from Lord Krishna Academy to maybe Bhaktivedanta Academy, or not coming direct with Hare Krishna, but something still connected with what? Our lineage. These two things, we need to look into that. Otherwise, they will continue to mark the children down. They will continue to mark them because we are competing with them. This is my little stuff I just wanted to share with you so that you can pass it on.
Yeah.
Thank you for such a wonderful brainstorming, I should say. Let me see. We are more than 90 minutes into the class. Kavi, your internet is really weak. We can't hear you. Well, Chaitanya Prema Prabhu, my suggestion would be that since you are in Ghana, you are a senior devotee, you hold an administrative position, maybe you can suggest to the rest of the leadership so that there can be some sort of formal administrative meeting so that topics like this can be discussed, as opposed to, I mean, it's Bhagavatam class, anything can come out of Bhagavatam class, but I think it will be most ideal if we have a special administrative meeting where these things can be brought out and ironed out. That's just my suggestion.
Thank you very much. Can we please read First Canto, chapter 17, text 9, purport.
1:17.
9.
Okay. All right, I have it here.
Okay. Purport. You can read it because I'm not seeing it clearly and my iPad is down.
O
Battery is down.
son of Surabi, O son of Surabi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And oh, mother cow, as long as I'm living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. This must be Parikshit speaking, right?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Then read 1:19:3, purport.
1:19:3.
Yes.
Progressive human civilization is based on a Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, and the protection of cows. All economic development of the state by trade, commerce, agriculture, and industries must be fully utilized in relation to the above principles. Otherwise, all so-called economic development becomes a source of degradation. Cow protection means feeding the Brahmanical culture, which leads towards God consciousness, and thus perfection of human civilization is achieved. The age of Kali aims at killing the higher principles of life. And although Maharaj Parikshit strongly resisted the domination of the personality of Kali within the world, the influence of the age of Kali came at an opportune moment, and even a strong king like Maharaj Parikshit was induced to disregard the Brahmanical culture due to a slight provocation of hunger and thirst. Maharaj Parikshit lamented the accidental incident, and he desired that all his kingdom, strength, and accumulation of wealth would be burned up for not being engaged in the Brahmanical culture, etc. Where wealth and strength are not engaged in the advancement of Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, and cow protection, the state and home are surely doomed by providence.
Okay.
If we want peace and prosperity in the world, we should take lessons from this verse.
Okay. So this is in relation to today's verse. And we have to see the consequences of not protecting the cows, not protecting the Brahmanical culture, not protecting the children, not protecting the elders. Very, very devastating consequences. Now read 357, purport. 357. Third canto, 5th chapter, verse number 7. Vidura talk with Maitreya.
Which paragraph?
I can't identify the paragraph, but it's the paragraph that talks about cow protection. You look at it. The purpose is not.
That must be the second. The cow is the most important animal for developing the human body to perfection. The body can be maintained by any kind of foodstuff, but cow's milk is particularly essential for developing the finer tissues of the human brain so that one can understand the intricacies of transcendental knowledge. A civilized man is expected to live on foodstuffs comprising fruits, vegetables, grains, sugar, and milk. The bull helps in the agricultural process of producing grain, etc. And thus, in one sense, the bull is the father of humankind, whereas the cow is the mother, for she supplies milk to human society. A civilized man is therefore expected to give all protection to the bulls and cows.
Okay, so it is very important that we take this particular purport very seriously. We must give attention. If we have not been giving attention to protecting the brahmanas, the cows, the children, the women, and the elderly, we should start doing it. This will be our focus. We have a science in our hands. We are not utilizing it. So if we are sincere, then we have to give attention to this, because this is a formula for peace that is given in the Bhagavatam.
Well, Hare Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Prabhu, I'm just in His Grace, Sri Vasvanachari Prabhu is here. We want to formally say Hare Krishna to you, Prabhuji. I think you just came in. We've had
5 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. All right.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much. I was living a lecture somewhere else, and I just finished, and I thought I should jump in and get some rest. And I got heard what PREMA Samputa was saying.
Okay.
I heard that.
Yeah, because there was this issue of taking care of devotees and maintaining and keeping Brahmanical cultures.
Okay.
So that brought up lots of hits. So personally, I suggested that it would be most ideal that, of course, this is Bhagavatam class, anything can come out of it because we are churning the ocean and we don't know what is going to come out of the ocean. But we also believe that, personally, I must say, I believe that when we have a formal, precise meeting for such topics, I think that would be more helpful than a platform like this.
Yeah.
So those were some of the things we were discussing. I also have heard that actually it's in one of the Puranas, I think it's in the Skanda Purana, where it says Dharma protects those who protect Dharma. Right. Prabhuji, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but
right. Dharma protects, yes, it's true.
Yeah. So if we want to be protected, we should first try to give protection to Dharma, then we'll be protected. So Chaitanya Prabhu, if you have something else to say, otherwise, Srivas Vanachari, if you have something to say from the letter that you've heard.
Before Maharaj make his comment, which is going to supposed to be the final comments?
No, I have no comment.
Please read 4:21:44.
Again, forward.
4:21:44. Prithu Maharaj instructions by Prithu Maharaj.
4:21:44.
44. Purport. Somewhere in the purport. Identify where cow protection is talked about.
All right, I think it's the first paragraph where it says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this is, let me do this. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 21, Text 44. Whoever acquires the Brahmanical qualifications, whose only wealth is good behavior, who is grateful, and who takes shelter of experienced persons, gets all the opulence of the world. I therefore wish that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his associates be pleased with the Brahmin class, with the cows, and with me. So the first paragraph of the purport says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is worshipped with the prayer, Namo Brahmanya Devayaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. Thus, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead respects and protects the Brahmins and Brahminical culture, as well as the cows. In other words, wherever there are Brahmins and Brahminical culture, there are cows and cow protection. In a society or civilization in which there are no Brahmins or Brahminical culture, cows are treated as ordinary animals and slaughtered, are the sacrifice of human civilization. The specific mention of the word Gavam by Prithu Maharaj is significant because the Lord is always associated with cows and his devotees. In pictures, Lord Krishna is always seen with cows and his associates, such as the cowherd boys and the gopis. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot be alone. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj said, Sanucharas Cha, indicating that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always associated with his followers and devotees.
Okay, two more verses and we close. 9:15:26. 9:15:26.
9:15:26. Oh, sorry. I went 9:16 instead of 9:15.
9:15:26.
Yeah.
Purpose. Somewhere.
Well, we don't have enough time, but I would have wished that you just reference maybe one or two verses, and then when I read, since you said you cannot read from your end, when I read it, then you tell us why you quoted that.
Okay, yeah. The whole thing is to emphasize the importance of cow and cow protection.
Okay.
And Brahmanical culture and the children. This is the whole topic.
Okay.
We have to protect, because once these things are neglected, what the result is the present society you are seeing, where community is traded for commodity.
Yeah.
And it's a misdirected civilization. And we have to, if we want a different result, then we have to do things different.
Yeah. Okay, so does that bring
the importance of cow protection?
Does that bring your His Grace Srivastava, do you have something to say? Prabhu has something to say, but I want to find out from you. We can't hear you, Prabhuji. You are muted.
Yeah, I'm saying I have nothing to say. I've just come to hear.
Oh, okay, okay. Harichakra Prabhu, please unmute. Harichakra, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, so we bring the class to a close.
Yeah, I've heard all the quotations that Chaitanya Prabhu had given. Cow protection and protecting the brahmanas, the kids, the children, and all that thing. Yeah, it's well noted, but the point still comes to the same thing, that if you don't have the means, to protect the brahmanas and the children and the cows, how are you going to do it? The means is very important, because if you don't have the means, like let's assume you have 10 cows and you cannot even feed the cows, the 10 cows.
So how are you going to protect them? Are you going to leave them to go hungry? So it boils up to the same thing we were talking before about this structural thing, that we need people to come on board. And for us to get people to come on board, we should have proper structures in place, like we were saying before. Actually, when I think an advice was given that Chaitanya PREMA should, dialogue with the local authorities. And if they want some of us to come in, we are all ready to come in. We dialogue in a process where we can put proper structures in place, because as it is now, we don't have any structures in place in our system. And so if they dialogue with the authorities, we have proper structures in place, then if nothing comes, then you can blame somebody that after putting everything in place, still nothing is coming. No, but the system as it is now, I don't think we can even bring people in to come help. No, because I'll give you a quick example. When I came to Ghana, I think the one before my recent coming, there was this proposal of fixing Guru Maharaj Samadhi. Of course, the Samadhi is deteriorating. It needs to be fixed. And they sent a message, all Guru Maharaj disciples should give how much? I think said 3 million or 5 million. But if you look at the stage of the Samadhi and the money that is needed to fix it, if even each Guru Maharaj disciples gives 1 million, 10 million, it will not be enough to fix that thing. And the unfortunate thing is, there was a message added today that these donations to be sent to a particular Momo number. I mean, this is childish. Who on earth do this? So how can I approach people and ask them to solicit funds to help with us when we are giving individuals Momo numbers to people to donate towards Guru Maharaj's Samadhi app? So there must be proper structures in place. This is where we are talking about. And so if we really want to make a headway, please, let's put our heads together. We are not in the blaming culture. We want the facts to be out. Let's put the proper structures in place. And with that, I'm 100% sure that Guru Maharaj will affect people's heart and things will happen like he wants them to happen. That's all that I have to say. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Well noted. And says a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So I believe this is that first step. And taking the step is not, it's important, but more important is if it's in the right direction. Because if you take a step and you go in the wrong direction, you'll be taking so many steps and you'll never get to your destination. But I believe this is a right step in the right direction. So we look forward to seeing that day, of course, hopefully very soon, that devotees can come together and brainstorm how to make things happen. I remember one time I was distributing books and I approached one friend of mine, and every time we have a new book, he will buy. So I went to him this time and he told me, Sahadev, I'm not buying any book from you anymore. Because I have bought so many books, I know everything. Now what I need is to apply. Yes, it says I need to apply what I'm reading. I don't need any books anymore. You know, so I think that applies to all of us. There isn't much we need to know to grow that we do not know. We know. It's just a matter of applying. So, Hare Krishna. I'll end here. If anyone else has something to say, we may do that before we bring the class to a close. I must say thank you all for your patience, your love, your dedication, and today is Friday. May we all have a wonderful, blissful, Krishna conscious weekend. Well, if no one has anything else to say, we're going to kindly ask the devotee to unmute.
If there's any other thing to say, is just to say thank you to Saturday for continuously rendering the service of hosting us on a daily basis.
Oh, what about yourself, my dear big brother Salika? Look, if you do that, I will be quite unhappy with you because I am a typical Christian. I'm not looking for anything on this planet. I'm saving my stuff above. If you say things like that about me, I'm going to get all my benefit on earth. No, I want to get it there. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So anyway, before we close, I also want to thank all the devotees for the roles they have played, for giving their expensive time, and to listen to all the talks from beginning to the end. We are highly delighted. Happy. Thank you very much for your presence. Gave me the strength. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, should I be my? I just want one point. Just one point.
Okay.
Yes,
go ahead.
Yeah, Prabhu. My only plea is please don't bring management to class again.
But if the class is about management, how can I escape?
Yeah.
If the class is about management.
If the class is about management, you talk about individual development.
Okay, it is individual that make the organization. So when I'm talking of this generally, I'm talking to the individuals. It is individuals that make the management. It's individuals.
I know, Prabhu, I know, but because the thing that is here is that one thing about the management is that we will never get solution in the class. It's when we really decide.
So the classes are going to be talk shows. We're going to come together to come and make talk shows.
The class is for individual development. Management can be developed in the meeting. The class is for individual development.
Develop individuals, make a good management, Prabhu. Okay. Develop individuals, make a good management.
All right.
And this is what we are talking about.
Can you go offline?
Please. Excuse me.
Can you go offline?